College creates new dreams and passions. It brings new ideas and perspectives. It brings new challenges and obstacles. What we wanted to be then has shaped who we are now.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Now and Then, the show where we explore the dichotomy between what we wanted to be when we were growing up and what we want to be now. I'm your talking head, Jackie Garcia, and with me today is Jung, an animation film major. So tell me more about your major.
My major is animation, so what I like doing is I like turning still figures or characters and making them move to do things such as like movies, cartoons, animation, stuff like that.
And so growing up, did you always want to do this, or did you have something else in mind?
Actually, my original hobby was a game designer, so I'd take pieces of paper or cards, create little games out of them, and play with my friends or whatever. I like to create new rules and I like the interesting things that you could do with games.
And what changed your mind from wanting to do that to being in animation?
Well, when I wasn't making games out of paper, I'd go on like PowerPoint and create different slides with characters, usually stick figures because I wasn't very good at drawing. And then I like making it move, and I like seeing the motion and trying to make it as fluid as possible.
So then what is the difference between being in a game than being on like a movie, animation wise?
Movies are more to tell a story. A game, you try to draw people in and have them do the things on their own. A movie, you really want to tell the story. You want to make it believable and as true to life as possible.
Okay. And what sort of jobs is there in the animation industry?
There's a lot of jobs you can go through. You can do computer-generated imagery, which is like 3D, so like the Avengers or Guardians of the Galaxy. There's video games you can do. There's also the regular movies like Frozen right now, or Finding Nemo, or cartoons that you see on TV all the time.
And ultimately, where do you see yourself being?
I want to see myself as like a movie major, like Pixar or DreamWorks, companies like those. I like to tell stories that they have.
And what is your favorite animation film?
My favorite animation film right now, I'm partial to Frozen because I worked on it.
You worked on Frozen, and how is that like?
It was a really fun process, a lot of pressure because they really wanted to make it perfect. They knew it was going to be a really good movie with the storyline, a lot of changes throughout it.
You're 20 years old and you've already worked on a big movie like Frozen, and so was it easy, or?
I wouldn't say it was easy. There are a lot of difficult points throughout all of it. You have to put in a lot of work, a lot of your time, a lot of your dedication. But in the end, seeing the finished product and seeing how people react to it, walking up to people and then hearing "Let It Go" everywhere, it was fantastic.
Yeah, because my little cousin, she thinks she's, what is it, the Queen Elsa, or yeah, she thinks that's who she is. But so what did you take part in? Like, did you do the whole movie or a specific scene?
My major scene was the one where Elsa created the snow castle up in the mountains. So when she stomped on the floor, from the snowflake to the full creation of the castle and everything inside it, that was what I did.
And how long did it take for you to create that?
That one took me about a month straight of work to make everything perfect, to make the ice look like ice, to make the sparkles go where they needed to be shiny.
And so you go to school, and you also work, and how did you balance that out?
Well, it was tough. I had to find, I'd be at school from 8 in the morning till 4. So then after that I'd be up from 5 till 10, maybe 11, 12, working on the animations to send it in, or I'd have to travel down to Burbank to be able to work there at their studios.
Wow. So going back to school, how long do you have until you graduate or until you move on to the next step?
I'm 3 years now, 3 years into my schooling. I have 2 years left before I graduate.
Wow. Okay, well that's interesting. That's very good. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back after this commercial. Welcome back to Now and Then, the show where we get to the roots of our students' aspirations. I'm your host, Jackie Garcia, and with me still is Jung. So now I know you said you were working on Frozen and everything, so where do you work?
I work at Pixar in Burbank, their main studio in Burbank right now.
And how did you get that job?
I had a contact, a family friend who worked there, so I could go in for an interview, but I still had to show them my portfolio and my design process.
All right, now I have an understanding that you brought in an animation film, so we're going to go ahead and show it right now. Wow, that was really good. So how long did it take for you to come up with that?
That one took me 4 to 5 minutes about.
Why so short? What's the difference?
During the interview process, what they did, they put a computer in front of me, gave me 2 characters and a car as a prop, and just told me to create a quick little movement between them to show what I can do for the interview.
So when you were getting interviewed, it was just out of the blue and they were just kind of like, create something for us?
It was out of the blue. What they wanted to do is put pressure on me to see if I can animate under pressure to get to the tight schedules that they have.
So if I wanted to spot out an animation film, how would I know if it's a good one or a bad one?
Well, the main difference between a good one and a bad one, you want to see how fluid they are, how much detail they add into each of the characters. Because when people move, there's a lot of different movements that happen, hair, arms, legs. So you want to see how fluid it is. You don't want pieces breaking, you don't want things standing still. Or like if you create a character walking, you don't want their arms just at their sides the entire time.
And how long does it take for that to go through? Like how long does the average movie take?
The average movie takes about 1 to 2 years to fully flesh out and make, and the more detailed ones, like Avengers or whatever, those take 2 to 3 years to completely flesh out.
And are your family and friends supportive of what you do?
No, they are very supportive. They're always proud of me every time I show them a new project, giving me ideas and thoughts and telling me how to improve here and there.
Is anybody in your family sort of like into this as well? Is that where you got the inspiration from, or was it just within you?
One of my uncles is actually an animator. He does the sketch type of animation where you draw out each and every scene, just like the old type of Mickey Mouse cartoons. And when I saw him doing that, it really pushed me to try stuff like that, and it was a lot of fun when I did it.
So you would say because I see a pattern, you've always wanted something to do with characters and animation, so ultimately what is your goal?
My goal is to be able to create something that's like close to real life as possible.
So you want to have your own kind of animation studio?
Yeah, I'd love to open my own business, be able to work with producers and movie makers and create something and tell their story.
So like Jan Animation Studios or
Jan
anything
Animation,
like
so
that?
Sounds terrible.
So do you, no it doesn't. Do you have any advice for aspiring animators?
Just let your creativity flow. You can't be held back by what people think. You gotta let it flow. Do what you think looks good. Use your own technique. There's no proper technique to animating.
All right, well, that brings me to my next question. If you don't get to that, do you have a backup career?
I'd still fall back to game design. Games have a really interesting dynamic that you have with people. I just like being able to make something that people enjoy is really what it falls down to.
So going back to the advice that you had, have you been told no before?
I have been told no on some of my animations before. They said it wasn't fluid enough or they didn't like the way I did it. But I just followed my gut.
Alrighty, well thank you. That is all the time that we have, unfortunately. Thank you, Jan. I've been your host, Jackie Garcia, and this has been Now and Then. Good night.